Welcome to another episode of the InnerFight Podcast. My name is Mark Smith, founder of InnerFight.com, and I'm joined by Matt Jones and Phil Hesker to answer your questions and share our opinion on what's going on out there in the fitness industry. No matter where you are in the world, thanks for tuning in. Let's jump in. This is it. This is actually episode 192. We were supposed to have episode 192 last week, but slight technical issue. Phil, can you just talk us through why there was no podcast last week? Go on. I know there's a valid reason. I know there's a valid reason.
There actually is half a podcast.
Okay.
On my computer.
That you don't know how to say.
If anyone wants to come and listen to the first half of it, like, you can come and listen to my
you
computer.
Can just come and but you don't know how to save it.
It's not in a good enough format to upload.
The format doesn't work.
To, the website. The second half of it is just gone. I think
just gone.
Jonesy must have pressed something.
Yeah.
So I get this message when I'm on holiday trying to relax.
But we actually answered some pretty good questions.
Yeah.
We just had a good discussion amongst the three of us.
Yeah. And I was just like, didn't know how to reply. I just went, great,
yeah.
I was like, never mind.
I know you're on holiday, and
I was on holiday.
To text him. This has gone wrong. Oh yeah, the water went off as well.
Get a message in the middle of South Africa. I think I was actually in the middle of a winery with my wife, Holly, tasting some wine.
And then all of us.
Natalie sends me a message.
The
water's off. I'm like, what the...
No, it's not.
Beep do you want me to do about it? Anyway, the water came back on. We're here. We're back. 192. Carmen's not here.
No. What's she doing?
Just relaxing.
Medical. Takes time. You went for yours.
Yeah. It's once a year.
No problems.
That's all I'm saying.
Once every couple of years. A little bit time laborious.
2 years.
Every 2 years. Yours is coming up soon.
I do mine soon, huh?
Yeah, you will. Yeah, that's it.
2 years.
Well, that's if we renew your contract. Jonesy's renewed, but in the absence of podcast 192, we played out Brian McKenzie, old podcast, episode 138. Hope everyone enjoyed that. Didn't really have much feedback, so maybe they did.
I don't
know if anyone listened to it. They didn't. They're actually supposed to change the text on the photo to read episode 192 and not read episode 138, because someone like Lee Parker would have seen 191 the week before and then 138 and he'll have just gone.
You would have lost it.
Just not been interested.
Unprofessional.
That said, we should crack on because we've got 2 weeks worth of things to talk about. First up, the first weekend, which was not last weekend, the weekend before, Phil, Firestorm.
Yes.
Give us a rundown on Firestorm.
We had 3 teams in there, and I think we got a decent finish. We got a 6th place finish. Another team around 12th place, and another team just outside of the top 20.
Right.
So out of 30 teams, not a bad showing. Everyone did really well. There was a lot of people did things for the first time. I think Alicia got chest to bars for the first time.
Yep.
Charlie did a squat snatch for the first time.
Right.
So she was kind of trying
the week after she finished the half Ironman as well.
Yeah, and
fair play.
First CrossFit competition, trying to figure out some of the movements, but gave it a really good go.
Trying to figure out what Anton was saying to her.
Yeah. It looked like everyone had a really good time. It was a really well run event.
Yeah.
Excellent programming. Good. I think it was really good. And I think the best teams won. Both the Yas teams won.
Beautiful.
They were like on top the whole way through. So and they had 4 team members in both their teams.
Those
guys
guys
do everything really well. Yeah.
Serious guys to look out for. Definitely coming into the Open and then
the games
later on into the games. Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be. Why are the cleaners making so much noise? This is not.
Yeah, it was a really good event. I was super fun.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It's
cool to watch.
A really small meal at Cheesecake Factory afterwards.
Tiny.
Yeah,
really Oreo shake.
We actually didn't. Oh, we couldn't
handle it.
No, we went for the.
Carmen couldn't finish hers.
She stopped.
Yeah, she's pathetic. That's the way it goes. So that's a good event, obviously annual event, and I think one cool thing, like you said, Charlie was into that. She joined us about 6 months ago. Anton the same. First competition for those guys and sort of just got involved.
One thing that we excelled at was the running. I think we had the top 2, this is not including myself, but the top 2 guys and girls scores in the running, I think.
Yeah.
Salim even beat Robot.
So Salim beat Rob, and actually I don't know.
Got 331 for 1.2k.
331 for 1.2k. That's pretty decent. Yeah, very.
Rob was just behind, and then Maria, I think, won the girls' run.
Right,
and Laura was just behind. Or maybe
so
it was the other way around, I'm not sure.
1-2, 1-2 in both of those. Rob Harker lost to you in a running workout yesterday.
Yep.
He's got a lot of tension though, mate. Today, I mean, as we record, probably by the time this podcast is, she might have finished labour by the time the podcast is live.
I hope so.
That would be a very, very long labour. There would be labour in every sense of the word. But Steph is definitely going to give birth any time right now. So the kid's probably out. Hopefully it's good and healthy. Hopefully she still wants to speak to him. Like she didn't want to speak to him before, actually, but hopefully as well, once he's obviously taken care of the kid, he can get back on his running game.
Start running again.
Losing to Salim, losing to you. Next thing he might lose to Moonham. I mean, you just don't know. I've seen something. So that was Firestorm, great event, and thanks to the guys over at CrossFit Life Spark for that. This weekend, just gone, we had the Desert Stinker. All the time we're going around it, Holly kept on saying, Jonesy would really like this.
Yeah,
Jonesy would really like this.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Why do people think that you like running in the sand?
Scenery, sand,
nature kind
clouds.
of guy. Clouds. Nature kind of guy. Absolutely excellent event. Started 7 o'clock Friday night. You've got a choice of running 20k, 10k or 5k. 5k, actually, I really suggested. Our friend Steve Cheeseborough was in this morning. Had a good chat with him. And said it would be really good for the rugby kids. They'd really enjoyed that. So young kids could go out and run the 5k, and then you sleep over in the desert, which was great.
Feeds?
We had feeds, yeah.
You did 2 20s, right? I
did 20 and then 10. Yeah, I did the 10. I just did the 10 the next morning. I wanted to run with Holly. I wanted Holly to enjoy it. And after, like, there's different comfort levels on the camping. Jack had a shower for Mignon. And he heated, we built this fire, and he heated a jerry can full of water next to the fire for the whole time we were cooking and stuff, so that before she went to bed, in this, it looked like he'd brought Burj Al Arab into the desert, that she'd have a shower. So she has a hot shower, whereas I just put down a piece of plastic tarpaulin and like this thin mattress and a sleeping bag and told Holly to sleep well.
Yes.
And she didn't sleep very well at all.
She said she only got about 2 hours sleep because I think Stiff Staff started snoring.
Stiff Staff was snoring a little bit, and I think he obviously out in the desert it's quite dry, and so it's
helps.
So that wasn't too great. Actually, 5:45 it started raining, so that was the end of my sleep as well. So, but you can take a big tent, you can sleep on the sand, you can do whatever. But it is a super cool event. So thanks to the people that put that on. That's Urban Ultra. A few other things in the news this weekend. Dubai Fitness, I don't know if it's called competition or if it's a championship now, but DFC is starting. Some big names from sort of the world of fitness. I've seen some different people put out as registered. What should we look out for there?
For the people that are coming, some pretty big, especially on the girls' side. There's some pretty. I don't know if people know CrossFit names, but like Kristen Holte, Brooke Ence, Lauren Fisher, right? Some pretty big.
Annie Forrest-Daughter,
Annie,
two-time CrossFit Games champion.
Big names coming over, and then on the guys, Noah Olsen, he's I think 3 times Games athlete. Kenneth Leverich 2 or 3 times. Frederick Agidius 2 or 3 times Games
good regional athlete.
So, yeah. He's been to the Games 2 or 3 times, so you can't really take it away from him.
Take it away from him, of
but
course.
But it'll be a very high standard of competition.
On the bottom end of the spectrum, our own Mohammed Qasim has entered.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, which is, we'll see how he goes. He's on
10-minute row test to start.
10-minute row test, he'd probably do all right. I mean, that's what it was last year. Let's talk a little bit about the events, Jonesy.
It was 5-minute ski and then 10.
It was 5-minute ski. What do you want to see this year? Because the format of this event is qualifying the first weekend of some description, and then there's a cut, and then everyone gets taken, or the cut go home, and then the top guys get taken the next weekend. What do you want to see in the programming in the first weekend? If people are thinking about joining in, what would you want them to see?
I'd like to see a bit of running.
Yeah, it's at our Wassel Sports Club.
Yeah, so it's possible it's going to happen.
Yep.
I've heard that there's a 4-minute AMRAP and then a 5-minute AMRAP, so I don't.
Right.
That's all they've really revealed. That's what someone told me.
But I mean, last year
there was that 5-minute ski.
5-minute ski for distance.
Yeah.
10-minute row for distance.
Yeah.
Some quite lung-busting stuff. And on the second weekend...
All the short people weren't happy about those 2 events, were they?
No. When are short people happy?
Yeah, I know.
What are they happy with? If you're short, what do you really like? Burpees?
Just anything
Pretty
with
much
a barbell.
anything else.
Anything with a barbell.
Yeah, it's less range of motion.
That's right. But if it gets heavy, then I'm sure...
You chat about gymnastics as well.
Gymnastics?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they should be good at that. But that starts this weekend. It's at Wassel Club. I'm not sure about the timings or anything like that, but have a look out for that.
I'd like to see a good loaded carry as well.
Good loaded carry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spoke about that on the other podcast, didn't we? Based on your article. I mean, they have done a few good loaded carries. What did they do last year? There was a deadlift and farmer's carry.
Yeah. And then the last one had a sandbag run.
They had a sandbag run.
Between,
Two sandbag runs.
Yeah.
If you got to the one at the end.
Yeah.
Who actually did the one on the end? I definitely didn't do the last sandbag carry. You guys weren't involved. Carmen's not here, but we had a nice participation in National Sports Day, which I think was on the 26th of November up at DIMC, which is pretty cool. All different sports coming together, and we had a bunch of guys go up there, and Carmen gave them a workout, and apparently that was super cool. So thanks to the Dubai Sports Council for organising that. Up and coming in for us, fitness events, we've got us annual or biannual, twice a year, Celebrate Fitness, 18th of December. That's a Friday.
People are getting excited about this,
yeah?
We didn't even tell them yet, did we?
A couple of people are saying.
Jonesy's been leaking.
I'll tell you who's excited.
Who's excited?
Mohammed Al-Ashram.
Mohammed Al-Ashram actually has been a participant in the two Celebrate Fitness.
Did he not show up to yours? He did show up, right?
No, he did.
He's been there, mate.
It was just Nick that didn't show up.
Who didn't show?
Because Mohammed was in your. He was in your team.
He was in my team. Last team.
Nicholas Moulders didn't show up.
He didn't
let you down, didn't he?
He
you were quite upset about that.
I was quite angry about it, to be honest. No.
It was anger. It's probably boiled down.
It's all good.
We actually need to discuss that format.
You'll be back then, right?
Yeah.
I'll be back then. I'll be here.
Yeah.
I've planned my travel to make sure that I'm here. But a very, very much all-inclusive event the last two times, and I think we'll follow a pretty similar format. Split it into teams, 3 or 4, varying ability, 2 hours of working out, and then, because it's nice weather again, I think we might go for the old shawarma stand outside.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Might get a little bit more. We managed to eat... I think we managed to eat enough between 60 people last time for 150 people. So we might have to go for the 300-person one, and hopefully we'll get about 100 people here for that. So there'll be shawarmas afterwards. We might get Flax to dress up as Santa Claus again.
Flasky.
I still have the Santa Claus outfit, so there could be some Christmas presents for kids.
We should probably do a bit more fun. There's a few people kind of went fancy dress last time, didn't
that's
they?
actually not a bad idea. We had those hats, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think it's just, we'll pre-nominate team captains. And they can be in charge.
Have your say, folks. What you think would make a good Christmas party? Let us know. We still have a little bit of time. We have time to theme it. We have time to do a lot of things. We'll take care of the workouts, but anyone who's coming to that, give us some ideas of
so
how...
Make sure if you know you're on a team, make sure you show up.
Showing up is
not talking about anyone.
Is hugely important. The weekend before that, though, and I want to jump into this because this is going to be pretty awesome. Inner Talks 8, December the 10th, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. If you live in Dubai, this is an absolutely free event, and it's with a guy he is a member at the gym. He's been a friend of ours for quite a while now, Scott Ragsdale. He currently has 15 stitches in his shin from an accident he had jumping on a box yesterday. Sometimes these things happen. If you don't jump high enough and then go forward before you're at the right height, you sort of hit your shins, which is a bit unlucky. A lot of people are onto it. Jess has still an injury from a box jump. She won't listen. She won't listen to what I tell her. I've given her the final medicine, and that's the final straw. But let's see if that helps. If you want to get a little bit of a gist for how Scott thinks, how his mind works, I suggest you hop over to his blog, scottragsdale.com. He is a 7 Ironmans in 7 days in a row finisher. He's swum across the English Channel. He's run across the Sahara. He's twice tried to ride his bike across America. On the second time, he was very close to dying. He fell down a ravine. So lots of interesting things about there. And one of his latest posts on the 26th of November, the world has too many pussies teaching us how to grow up and be total pussies. So Scott speaks his mind. I cannot argue with anything he says. Sometimes I guess if you're into politics, you could be a little bit more politically correct. You've read that post, Phil. Thoughts?
Wouldn't recommend it to my mother.
Wouldn't recommend it to my... He had to make a few apologies. Not apologies on Facebook, but he did have to answer some questions on Facebook, I think. Did you read his post, Jonesy? Where were you yesterday when we were talking about it? The title of his post is, "The world has too many pussies teaching us how to grow up and be total pussies."
Really?
Yeah. So
get down and listen to what this guy's got to say. It's a very interesting character.
Super interesting character, and he's done a lot of things. So, but it's actually a really interesting blog post about people coaching people and telling them that they've done really super well when in fact they're still really struggling. And I think that's probably something that we come across sort of as coaches, and this whole thing, well, if you're participating, that's great. And my personal thing on this is I think participation is great, but people need to be told when they're shit. They, if they're not good, then they need to be told about it, because that's almost our job as a coach, to be realistic. The delivery of it is super important. But
one example was when I've started working with Neil quite a lot now, and he's like super picky on whenever I do anything. Like I think, I've had a really good running session. Yeah, like I might have gone off my pace by like a few seconds, and he's not impressed at all. Yeah. Whereas I used a running coach before the games, and just everything we did was amazing. It was really well done. It was awesome. Yeah. But I knew myself that no, it wasn't. Like it was when I was swimming. Like I'm not an amazing or awesome coach, and when they're constantly telling you that, it's like. You need them to tell you. You need people to tell you straight. That was really bad. Like, and tell you how to be better at it. And
that's the main delivery, isn't it? And that's the main thing. It's like if you can say like you're doing that really bad, or you're 4 seconds out, you need to be on this, and this is how you're going to get it. I think that's the difference between a good coach and a not so good coach, right? And not telling people they're doing stuff right when they're not. I mean, when we did the rowing seminars with Cameron as well, we're like rowing for 6. What was the one that we're doing? 6-minute intervals. And you have to land it exactly the same time every single time.
Yeah. If you're off, you got penalty.
And if you're off, you got penalty. But like, what's the room for error?
I sent him I showed you the video that I sent him of my 250-meter sprint. Yeah, and I was pretty happy with it.
And he replied back straight away.
Yeah, he replied back with an essay. And the first line was, "Your first pull was crap." Yeah. Like, first opening line. But it's just straight to it. Like. Oh, sweet.
Does that motivate you to read more?
And I read the whole thing and was like, makes sense.
Yeah. But then he came out with some good suggestions.
First pull was crap. You need to do this, and this.
And you're sweet.
Not just like, it was crap.
Stop that's where some...
Yeah, stop rowing. Don't worry if it comes up.
Just don't ever row again.
Don't row again. But I think that's one of the most important things, and that's what, if you do hop over to Scott's blog before he comes and speaks to us, have a read of that article. It's super good. It is a little bit brash, but I think it's totally true. At least if a coach can give you good feedback and the criticism delivered in the right way, everyone's not a winner, everyone's not winning. Some people are winning by getting off the couch and doing something, but just because you got off the couch, it doesn't mean that you've lost 50 kilos. And I think he's got a good point. So that's going to be a super interesting event. Inner Talks number 8, December the 10th, and it will be about a 50-minute. I'll be talking to him, asking him a load of questions, or 45 minutes of that, and then there'll be a little bit of time for the public to ask him questions as well. So he's done a load of cool things. Before we get into some listener Q&A, foods for better sex. Jonesy.
Whoa, hi. Who's a bit... Everyone talks about the seafood thing.
Foods for better sex. What have you got?
Far out. That's a tough one.
Phil.
Well, you go. I've got to think about this. You go. Oh, you don't know?
You just passed it straight on to me. I don't know. It doesn't really make a difference to me.
I haven't looked into it.
Came across an article.
Is this one of your articles?
No, it's not, but I might just steal it. 9 aphrodisiac foods to cook and serve. You'd be doing more than just serving. Yeah. Should we go back to the start? Number 1, everyone's going to know this for sure. It's one of the oldest in the book. Don't know if it's true or not. Oysters.
Yeah.
Oysters.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah. And if they don't make you spew because they're off, maybe they make you horny, so that's cool. Yeah. Garlic.
Great.
Crazy again. I'm gonna feed this chick. It absolutely stinks. And then, so garlic's another one. Vanilla essence. Chocolate. Good news. Sweet. There we go. Leafy greens. Loads of broccoli.
Leafy greens, yeah. Sweet.
So invite the girl over. Oysters to start.
Here's some garlic broccoli.
Here's some garlic broccoli. How do you...
Should be happy.
Asians love that. I remember when I was in Japan, and I think I was in Japan, they were just feeding that heaps, like broccoli with garlic. And I was like,
what's the deal?
They all must just be having heaps of sex. Shrimp.
Yeah.
Shrimp, another good one. Asparagus makes your urine smell because of some I don't know what it exactly
does.
There's
no meat here tying this together, is there, Jonesy? No.
There's nothing. I'm waiting. Hot peppers. This could be real bad.
Peppers, yeah.
So you got a pretty vegetarian...
Chilies and other hot peppers contain capsaicin and compound that help you get your blood pumping and your nerves on alert. Not a bad way to get things started for the evening. I mean, it's all right if you're in the evening, but what about if you're going for it the next morning? I mean, it could be a little bit messy. What does it say for kale and spinach? Don't make many of us think sexy thoughts, but we might want to reconsider that. Turns out leafy greens are related to increased histamine production, which is tied to our ability to reach orgasm. There we go.
Hey.
Where's the other one? Hot peppers. This is a good one. Jones will be happy with this. Red wine. A glass of red wine contains an antioxidant
just a glass
called...
You drink quite a lot of red wine, though.
Resveratrol.
I like red wine, yeah.
With good.
Mass murder, bit of steak.
Mass murder. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's the 9. Resveratrol is linked to increased production of estrogen in women. And, of course, a great glass of wine can be a sensual experience in and of itself. Yeah.
So it looks like red wine's the best one there.
Mate, red wine, chocolate.
Chocolate, yeah.
And, broccoli, garlic broccoli.
I do like oysters, to be honest.
Yeah, I like oysters. Yep.
At the wedding, if I'm at a wedding, I'm always straight on oysters.
A wedding?
Yeah.
Which
Not
wedding?
my wedding. Lots of other weddings, yeah. Call it a 21st, whatever.
You don't get oysters at maybe a 40th. But I tell you something, in South Africa, best oysters I've had in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Just plain, no flavour?
Plain. They were plain, mate. I put on some lime, a little bit of Tabasco. And they had pretty much an onion, like a vinegar onion.
Okay.
Absolute best thing. You're literally biting into these oysters. Normally they just slimy and they just they slip down.
The texture's not the best.
Texture's not the best.
Like oysters.
You wouldn't like them.
I don't even know
really?
I've had them.
You haven't had oysters?
I don't think so.
There we go. That's probably why you don't have any kids.
No children.
Children. Cool one though there, chocolate. So guys, if you want to, it's Thursday, if you want to get into it this weekend, a couple of foods there that could be... That's probably not the direction.
Everyone comes in on Sunday morning with like garlic breath.
Bro. Garlic breath, hungover to hell. And
this was
Marcus, it didn't work. It didn't work. No one wanted to have sex with me.
every 5 minutes during the workout going for a shit because it's so much chili. It would be the worst. Here we go. Listener Q&A, what have we got? Here he comes back again. Karlin Gurbich, editor of Men's Health. Good question the other week about losing bodily hair. What's he followed it up with? Here's one that I'm sure you'll have a view on and probably answered a million times. How do you get over the mental barrier?
You answered it last week really well.
Yeah, you guys answered it real good last week, so hopefully you can get the answer again now. How do you get over the mental barrier of approaching and beating your on at max? Is it simply a matter of relying on excellent prep, form, and technique? Do you have moments when your brain simply refuses to accept that your body can push further than it has before? Is it simply an issue for top line, not an issue for top line athletes? As a backgrounder, I've heard a story about a powerlifter who simply couldn't get his head around beating his back squat PB. So his team draped towels over the plates. It was quite interesting. So that he didn't know what he was lifting, and it worked. He became so used to hitting his max that he couldn't see past it. He had the capacity to lift more, but his mind had hindered that. Thoughts?
There's a few things.
Let's go.
Environment,
number one.
Music.
Music.
That towel thing. I don't know about the towel thing, but not knowing what the weight is. Sometimes just going
Pretty,
up to it.
Yeah.
Like, what weight is this? You know, people are like, what weight is this? It's like, shut your face. Lift it.
Yeah, just lift it.
Environment comes along with like changing up maybe different class times you're training in.
Yep.
So different
is this
people.
to build change your environment to try and hit a new PB?
Yeah.
If you're stuck on a number. That's what you're suggesting.
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, it's not always going to work out like that. It's like, okay, Thursday I'm going to go that. Hopefully it's a 1RM day. It's not. But another thing was that when you were in, was it Iceland, and, you know, you had that type of music sort of playing. And it was pretty loud.
The music.
Because then that first day you came back, it was like... and then you were telling us that we weren't allowed to talk. I was like, can we talk?
No.
But you said that your clean came up by quite a bit.
Yeah, just... I think everyone does that. Yeah. Changing the environment helps a lot if you're sort of stuck and feel a bit plateaued. And
one thing I saw when I had a session with Jordan Branford one time, and it was me and my brother training. And for some reason, my numbers were going up, but Nick's was kind of staggered. Anyway, but he took my brother around the corner outside.
Hit him in the face.
Well, I don't know what he did, but he had like a word to him and just said, "No, I don't know exactly what went on." And then he came back, and my brother was so fired up. And then he just, got that 1RM. I can't remember what it was. But so maybe people just need to be taken around the corner.
I think I've done that with some people sometimes. It's sort of like they've gone to lift something, you can see it's not going to work, and just like if it's back squat, rack the bar, go over there, walk over to
think
the
about
thing,
what needs to be done, blah,
get
blah, blah.
back and lift it. Like you've got 5 seconds, and normally they come back and they just lift it.
Yeah, I've done it to Salty a few times.
I've never taken anyone round the back.
He took him out. It was awesome. I was left standing there with Sal, just going, what do I do? Yeah.
You can usually tell on their face sometimes, like a lot, like before they even lift the bar, they're looking and like adding up what the weight is, and too worried about that number. Yeah. Right, and like the previous lift could have looked so easy. Yeah. But all of a sudden it's a new...
Because it's uncharted territory.
Yeah, it's a new number and they like get scared of it, the technique probably goes crap, and then...
I think that's a good point what you said, Jonesy. I find sometimes like when we're using perhaps pound plates and I can't really be bothered to get my phone out and calculate exactly, divide by 2.25, whatever, just keep putting it on, and then when I've reached the max, we'll add it up then. I think
it's like 3 or 4 kilos more.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 kilos more, and it's just like, I mean, approximately a blue one's about 20, but it's not really, and this and that and the other. I think the heaviest back squat I've done was on pound plates, and so I think that just, even the other week I was doing a deadlift. I hadn't lifted a heavy deadlift for a while, and I just put loads of pound plates on, and when it was too heavy and I couldn't lift it anymore, I just added up what I had lifted, and I think that, so maybe not putting towels on the plate, but not caring too much about the weight. And
I think it's quite with him being a professional athlete, I think it's very understandable with like the class members, and they're don't have that sort of exposure to lifting the weights as much. But I find it hard to believe as like a professional athlete that you would still have those sort of blocks. But I don't find it an issue, like myself at all. Like I can't wait to try and get the weight up and progress to that sort of heavier number, and it excites me and it motivates me more, and but
there's quite a bit of study into that. A guy called Tim Noakes, South African guy, super research, done some really cool stuff. He's actually done some research into why like for example the last 800-meter track race, 2 guys are neck and neck. They have all the same training. What the mental difference is on that stuff, and sometimes even it is like all the golfers. They're so awesome, and they continuously be good. And then it's that situation where I know that's one against another, but in this situation, it's you against the weight on the bar, and it's just this mental thing that people can't get over. And he's proven that the training's the same, and it's only a little bit of a mental thing. It's quite funny. He's developed. People want to check this out. People might have heard of this. It's called Banting Diet. It's huge in South Africa at the moment. It's very similar to paleo, and he's been taken to court for it. Because this was whilst I was down there the other week, and because he's said kids should eat this way, and basically it goes a lot against sort of standard food pyramids, the American food pyramid, and the way that they say that people should be eating, and they're actually taking him to court for it, despite the fact that I read the newspaper 5 minutes after I was in a shop with a chick who was telling me how great this diet is, and she'd lost 22 kilos on it. South Africa's a good place.
Yes.
But yeah, it's
quite hard to give people advice on you find the ones that are stuck on a certain weight. Like it's quite hard to give them advice. I just kind of say, just lift it. Yeah, obviously you can't really get into much more detail than that. But it's
I
quite
think
hard.
It's quite individual as well, isn't it? It's like
what people respond to.
Some people you just say like, just go over there and lift that. Just don't think about it and lift it. But some people, if you give them a different cue, it's like make sure you fill your belly full of oxygen. Yeah. And then you can see at the bottom of a squat they're so much stronger, then they can stand up. But other people that just wouldn't work at all because they'd be so much thinking about putting oxygen in their stomach that they just forget to stand up. So. Anyway, hopefully that gets through a little bit of those for you, Carlin. Carlin's actually been really super pleasant since we had a crack at him for creating road rage outside of the gym with me at 5 o'clock one morning. But no, he's a super cool guy. So
very nice.
And very, very good questions always. Andrew Savage, back on it. Gives you a little bit of abuse here. Following questions for this week's podcast, I've added more questions this week in case they need to fill the silence when Marcus would normally talk. So he was actually trying to help you guys out. Question number 1: if you could compete, I don't want to
answer his questions.
Me and Jonesy will. Carmen would as well. If you could compete against any other CrossFit athlete, who would it be, and what workout would you choose?
Jeez.
Rich Froning Jr.
10K run.
Just because he's the best?
Yeah? I thought you didn't want to answer his questions.
No, I've changed my mind.
Okay.
It's a good question.
Good question.
No,
what? Jonesy?
I would go against Chad McKay.
Yep.
And I'd go with an awkward loaded carry, that wheelbarrow thing or whatever. I'd do something like that because I know
like
he's
the game's one.
tall.
The sandbag.
Yeah, something similar to that.
Yeah,
Mate. Just
workout.
Yeah.
Yeah. What workout would you do against Fronning?
Is it one that I want to try and beat him at? Because I don't think I can.
If you could compete against any CrossFit athlete, what would it? What if you could compete against? Who would it be, and what workout would you choose?
That can be a girl.
It'd be a bit silly to choose a workout that you had no chance of winning.
He'd beat me at almost every workout. So, but he's the best CrossFit.
Talking
best
about
CrossFit,
mental strength,
best CrossFit there is. So, I'd like to love to compete against him. I was actually really disappointed that he didn't compete as an individual this year. I think if there's one thing I would have loved to just
here comes
compete
Holly
against him and see how good he is.
No. She'll have got on the video.
We'll go Fran. That's probably one of my favourite workouts.
Fran.
Thrusters,
just
pull-ups.
Die within 2 minutes.
It's all good.
Yeah. Miko, Solo, whatever he wants.
You'd come up with pretty stupid
Chipper
with him, wouldn't you?
I'd do a chipper or
chipper.
something. I just like I like him. That's all. I would do whatever he wanted to do. I don't know. Maybe a chipper or maybe something. He's always doing really weird long workouts.
Yeah, he's always injured as well.
Yeah.
So.
What's that all about?
Yeah.
Probably because he does his rowing in his closet still, because that was the only room left in his house and he couldn't get rid of his sauna. Second question from Savage. I'm not sure how Jonesy's going to answer this. Fist pumps or high fives?
This is we discussed this a little while ago, didn't we? I would prefer the fist pump because some people's hands are sweaty and then so I'd just sort of punch the fist and walk away. If they're trying to say, how did I go next?
And they can't hold on to you.
Yeah. So I've learned over the last 6 months that I go for that most of the time. Yeah.
Phil, just nothing.
Yeah, just no contact.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone.
They're coming towards you like this. Next client, no, he's not here yet. That's cool. Yeah, I'm the same.
Your hands are usually all ripped. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's probably why.
You do 5 pull-ups and your hand falls
apart.
Yeah,
exactly.
So a guy came to see me this morning. This is a true story. Guy came to see me. Really cool guy. We're going to be doing some cool stuff with him. He's doing some cool stuff. I'll explain that in another podcast. Came to see me and could see his right hand was a bit screwed up. So he went to shake my hand with his left hand. But he went like this so that he could get my right hand in it. And I was like, dude, what's wrong with you? I knew that both his hands were okay. I've done it before where you can clearly see that someone's had an injury or something.
Did you not go left hand switch as well? And then you're both kind of you're both yes.
I've done it once before. I met a guy who I think is quite famous or something. Anyway, he's known for just having one hand. And he just came immediately with the left. And so it's quite funny when someone does it. You sort of just take a split step and then you just go with left and it's the weirdest thing ever, but you just do that. But he came round the back so I could just go in there. And I was like, mate, what's wrong with your hand? He goes, I got bitten by a snake at the weekend.
Whoa.
Not at the weekend, a few weeks ago. I was like, what? He was in Oman.
Oh,
true story. He was in Oman. He went to put his hand on a rock and he basically put his finger into a viper's mouth.
All right.
Yeah, he said, I'd love to tell you a massive, hero story and this and this. He said, but I basically just did that. I put it on a rock. Viper bit me. Intensive care for 3 days.
Yeah.
14 shots of anti-venom. Yeah, all over the shop. So, yeah, pretty hectic. And he said that his hand was still massively swollen. And he said all the way up to his elbow was also... Yeah, so don't...
He's a pretty fit guy. He's
very
fitness,
fit guy. Yeah.
Should help his recovery.
Fit. Yeah, helped his recovery. He's, but 3 days in intensive care. Yeah. Pretty crazy. So
cool.
He's more into the reverse one than the fist bump or the high fives. Question number 3. Savage, way too much airtime, but he's always good supporter of the podcast, so you have to read them out. What are some common mistakes that you see people make in the gym, which are major contributors to stopping progression?
Not listening.
Yeah, there was that when I read that. It's the people that don't listen that are just don't
hurt
progress.
Hurt themselves.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think as well, not only listening in the gym, but not only our site, but we obviously put a lot of content out with a coach's post every Monday, with the podcast every Thursday. Holly puts a little bit out about cooking on a Wednesday. We're constantly, Flanners every 2 weeks put something out about endurance. I think even if you just sort of pick 2 or 3 websites that you can flip through, you can pretty like a lot of the questions are answered in there. So I think people just don't really listen to what's been told to them. And you get that, won't you? People say, how do I get better at muscle ups? You say, just go on the website, do Phil's muscle up program, which we're going to talk about later as well. And they'll do it for a day, and then like 2 weeks later, I'm not getting any better at muscle ups. How many times have you done the program? Oh, I did it once.
Yeah.
They just don't listen.
It's like a lot of pull-up programs that are out there, right? Like people do like the first week or whatever, and then
it's boring.
It's usually because it starts pretty boring.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
very
like,
boring.
It's like, oh, I want to do muscle ups, and you're like, oh, well, can you do a strict pull up? No. And you get them on like, okay, well, you're going to do this many strict pull ups for this many reps for weeks.
Yeah.
And then like they do one session and like, oh, this is crap.
Dull.
I haven't done a muscle up yet.
It's quite a lot of it's quite dull though, right?
Yeah.
A lot of that progression is quite dull. I mean, some people need to just start to be able to do like 10 or 15 strict push-ups.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, you're never going to be able to do dips, which is a portion of the muscle up.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll talk more about muscle up later.
Other things that we've talked about it loads, but like not sleeping right, not eating right, all those things are obviously going to play a part in your performance in the gym.
Yeah.
It's gonna slow you down. Not showing up with the right attitude.
Yeah.
It's kind of up to you sometimes, and a lot. We don't put the scores on the board very often. Yeah. It often comes down to attitude, how hard you want to work.
Yeah.
Because there's no glory at the end of it. No one's looking at your score going, "Oh, well done."
Yeah.
No one even knows what you did.
No one knows.
It kind of comes down to attitude. Like,
I think, and linked to that, mate. I think probably having realistic goals as well. I think people come in and come in and have a look around for a month, see what we're all about, see what we do, see how we can measure. Sit down with the coach and say, how can I really put some measurables in here? And because that's the way you're going to get progression. If you know that your back squat's 100 kilos and you're going to check in with the coach and you're going to say, okay, when's 1 rep max coming up? And okay, I'm going for 105 or I'm going for 100 plus the towels on the bar, so I can't see what the other what the other lot is. I think that's one of the things that people will feel that the progression stopped if they don't have clear cut goals. So,
and I think people need to don't underestimate about moving well.
Yeah,
you've got to just for the rest of the time when you're training, you just got to be moving well.
Move well.
Yeah, definitely.
Last question, quite a good one. I know 3 different opinions is going to come from this. Do you select the music in advance for each workout? If so, do you find that playing a certain type of music impacts the performance? Matt played some kind of
what is it?
wolf song this morning, which literally had wolves howling. I'm
what
not sure what he was trying to achieve.
That's because I took my iPad home and Matt doesn't know how to work
SoundCloud?
Yeah.
There's John. Hi, John. John Britton. You can see him on Snapchat. He's just leaving the building.
See you, Johnny.
He also listens to the podcast, never asks us any questions. Please send us your questions, John. Winning at InnerFight.com. No, we don't want you on the show. Maybe next week.
Johnny, how was paddleboarding?
How was it? It was
Did you
good.
stand
like
up,
that?
mate? Did you squat on it?
He fell over.
All right.
Definitely.
Nice.
Handstands.
Nice.
Music.
Music. So, for the records, what is it? Spotify is a lot better than SoundCloud. Because every time I go to SoundCloud, I just get caught in these terrible playlists.
Right.
Well, it starts off right, and then all of a sudden, wolves start howling.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Especially when you're trying to take people through techniques.
Though,
oh, yeah. I looked over.
I'll say one thing on SoundCloud.
You weren't there then when the wolves were howling.
No.
Actual wolves.
But the other week, when you were coaching? It was like some really good music, and then nothing against it, but there was like this Bollywood song came on.
It was like CrossFit. The playlist was called
CrossFit Mumbai.
CrossFit Rock.
Yeah.
And then, Linkin Park was going, and then all of a sudden...
And there was actually
you get caught.
There was some really good songs on that playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's always annoying when just right in the middle.
Yeah.
Because... Yeah, you can't just download the whole playlist. You have to recreate your own and select the songs onto it, which, you just search for a playlist and all of a sudden there's always 1 or 2 that just ruin the whole playlist. They ruin the whole playlist and everyone's looking at you.
Yeah, you're like, no one's going to look. Whoa.
It's usually during the rest period, so everyone's actually paying attention.
One of the cool things, if people have not got Spotify is pretty good, but that's kind of a problem. On SoundCloud, you can create an account really easily because it links easy to Facebook, so same login credentials. You can then create your own playlist.
And this is where.
And then you can just tell us what the name of that playlist is, and you can come in and we can search it. Andrew Savage Dirty Mix.
But you can do that on Spotify.
You can, but I think you need a Spotify account.
Oh, right, yeah.
SoundCloud account you can get, and they're basically free.
Oh,
Spotify,
right, okay.
I know Spotify over here needs a UK credit card as well, which is a little bit more complicated. If you do have Spotify, but if you
1st of December's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, you've ruined your thing.
Yeah, because last week.
Because Jonesy had a really good idea that he wanted to create a playlist. So if you just put a blank sheet of paper on the board, and anyone who wants to everyone gets one suggestion, every member, and then we'll create a playlist that you can use.
We'll do that.
So we'll do it for Celebrating Fitness playlist.
We'll do that from today.
We'll put they've got till
the end of this week.
Once there's 25 songs on it,
No, you need more. You need 50 songs.
Once there's 100.
You need 50. That gives you about 2 hours.
Yeah.
50 songs. When there's 50 songs on that board, there's going to be some shit ones. There's going to be.
That's why you get one. You can't just be like.
So 50 songs
people
that you like.
Fraser will put on something stupid, and he'll find it hilarious.
Mohammed bin Isa has sent me 3 messages from yesterday to today, and we're only 24 hours later. Have you downloaded the Creed, the latest Creed, this movie Creed?
Okay.
The soundtrack.
Oh, really?
It's a new Rocky.
Is that
movie.
What it is? I don't know. He keeps on saying it. He said it suits our style of working out. But
ninja.
Our style or his style?
Our style.
Okay.
I don't know if it's ours as in mine and yours, or ours as in his and mine. I'm not sure if they're all the same. But as well, if people do want to, if you are like Savage and you've got a desk job and you just sit there the whole day thinking of questions for the podcast, you clearly need extra tasks to do. Just get on SoundCloud.
Has Parker not asked anything this week?
Mate, Parker's actually ditched us totally.
Really?
He's asked us nothing, mate, for 2 or 3 weeks.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
No.
Just stop.
He's probably joined another gym. He doesn't.
Jonesy, stop training Parker.
Yeah.
Tell him no. If he wants to book in,
you got to have a question, mate.
We'll just delete his account in Mindbody. But if people do have some music, create a SoundCloud playlist, or just send us what it is. Right up when we've got 50 songs on the board, we'll create a new playlist and we'll play it. Sometimes silence.
Because we discussed it last time. The music's hard to.
It's so hard.
It's
one
hard.
of the biggest problems.
It's so hard.
I just play the same songs. I'm very happy listening. I'm very happy listeling to them. But
the same 6 songs for you want
50 Watt. What's his name?
50 Watt.
Is that his name? That's his name, right?
Yeah. The way you said it, brilliant.
50
Andrew
Watt,
Savage, thank you for your contribution as always.
We'll
and we'll get that sorted. But I think one of the best ones in there. What common mistakes see people make in the gym?
Socks. We'll just touch on this.
Socks.
He wants to talk about
it. We want to talk about socks.
Giard's had well, he's had a while, but we gave him a 2. He's still wearing his white socks. So what socks do you like to see?
Just black.
Just black socks, yeah? Ankle ones,
black ankle socks, because there's quite a few knee-high socks creeping in.
There's a lot.
Danny James as well.
James.
He shows up like he's just come from football.
Yeah.
Like in his
James,
actual full kit.
Your PT?
No. In the
James.
in the
Sorry,
yeah.
So we've got.
And where do you get these socks from?
I don't know.
Mate, they're cleaning out.
What is black socks?
Yeah.
Any store.
Just give these people tips. They need.
But the funny thing, when I used to work at Adidas,
Sultan's behaviour changed for the better.
Oh, as soon as he changed
so quickly, yeah. And all of a sudden, he was one of the coolest guys in the gym. He was playing ping pong.
Yeah, but he also
was dishing out abuse to people, making fun of Jens. And it was all came from that sock change.
And no, you did 3 things to Sultan, 4 maybe. He got a skinhead. He bought fluoro green shorts.
Yes, he did.
He got rid of the pillows and he changed his socks. And his whole life changed.
Those pillows were out.
They were out.
The socks is a big...
Socks is huge.
Socks is huge. Marwan, actually, he made a mistake because he said, okay, from now on, I'm not going to wear these white socks. But then the next day, what he's wearing? He's wearing Adidas track pants. And I went up to him and I went, what socks are you wearing, bro? And he was like, I didn't think you know. And he's got... So he's...
He's also in trouble.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
I actually have a load of socks from when Adidas used to give me gear, all white.
All white up to
Well, I've got white.
You don't wear them though.
White. No, I don't know what to do with them. You know what I actually do with them? This is
give them to Giard. He loves them. He loves white socks.
I give them to my dad. Because he needs them for golf, and he's happy to wear white socks. I'm always like, when it's his birthday, I'm like, Dad, what do you want? He goes, I just need a golf shirt. So I go and buy him a nice golf shirt, and I just put in 4 pairs of Adidas socks. They're the same. He must think that Adidas have rolled that model on for 5 years. I also have the calf length socks. They're not too bad. The white Adidas calf length socks. I might wear those tomorrow. No, maybe not.
No white and no knee high.
2 quick questions from Brett. how much coffee do you consider too much? Is there something else for a little pick-me-up throughout the day? Generally, I suggest to people no more than 3.
Yeah.
And if you do feel that you need it as a pick-me-up, I think if you feel that you need it because you're tired, I think that's only a short-term solution. I think if you're getting your energy from food, then you should be okay. I think drinking coffee when you're tired is dangerous and should be avoided.
I think on a Monday is usually pretty coffee heavy day.
Stack it up a bit.
It's because we're not trained. I think it's because we get bored. I think.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Someone offers, I'm making a coffee.
Maybe you've got like 2 hours to, you wait.
What do you think your record is for the number of coffees in a day?
I don't know, 5 or 6.
Yeah. Really?
But I very, very rarely do. Like, I try not to have more than 2. It's very rare that I have more than 2 coffees a day.
Yeah, I'll have one in the morning, one maybe at lunch.
But sometimes
half a cup.
Like some days, like someone's just like, "Oh, make you one." I'm like, "Yeah,
let's go."
And like an hour later,
yeah. So no more than 2 to 3.
Horizontal.
Second question: would you say training on little sleep under 5 hours is better than no training at all, or is it better to train on a solid night's sleep? I think we've been on this one before, but thoughts?
I hate training with little sleep.
Yeah,
I just don't even do it.
Just forget it. Jonesy?
Sometimes I've been okay training on little sleep, but I know when I've had a much longer, better sleep, much better. So
much better.
Yeah.
But I guess this question's aimed at some of our clients that just they just can't get to bed early.
Yeah, and I know at the moment
schedule.
Brett's studying.
Yeah.
He's studying a master's. So
but
I think
he's dropped his sessions.
He's dropped to 3 a week.
Yeah.
But I think he's doing a correspondence course, and so therefore, he's studying until about 11, 12 o'clock at night, then up at 4:30 to get to the 5:30 class. Under 5 hours sleep. Anything under 5 hours sleep, I don't even want to have a coffee if not had 5 hours sleep. I would say that it'd be better to use that time for sleep, and then it's a bit unfortunate.
If your nutrition is still good, if you're still eating really well, and then you can get the sleep, you're not going to put on weight.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the main thing is nutrition. Like the gym it obviously helps a lot.
Yes,
but if you stop coming to the gym, but you also decide, I'm going to eat all types, as well, then okay, you probably running some trouble. But if your stress levels go super high because you are studying, or all of a sudden work becomes super stressful, if you're sleeping 4 hours, then it's not the best thing. It's not the worst thing to give yourself a bit of time off the gym just to let your body
just to
recover a bit,
naturally.
deal with all that external stress.
Yep.
Without getting stressed about the gym as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a competitive person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because you'll only be disappointed when you come in, you perform badly.
Yeah.
You'll be like, this is get stressed about that as well.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing to take a bit of a break, but just make sure everything else that you've got going on is on point.
Exactly. Captain Brooks, second week in a row.
He's got an essay.
But some really good stuff. And it's like 20 lines, and then it says second part of the question. I'll crack into it. 2 questions for the team. Set my goal of improving my muscle ups, strict handstand push-ups and double unders, using various resources available, including Phil's article on breaking muscle and your previous articles regarding using warm-up time wisely. I decided to make a 4-week program based on the theory of progressive overload to do before my workouts. Alternating days, do the following: 1 day strict chest to bars, handstand push-ups, hollow rocks, followed by strict weighted ring dips, back arches, double unders. Mix it up, blah, 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 blah. This is going very well. I'd spend 15 minutes and alternate each exercise on the minute, and so each movement gets 5 sets. Excellent. Increasing reps, getting stronger. I got to the point where I could do 5 sets of 5 strict handstand push-ups every 3rd minute and weighted dips. Good progression. 17.5 kilos. Going really well. However, I decided to mix it up and go every minute instead and replace. I was blowing up earlier and reaching failure on each set. So I could do that for 3 sets instead of 1. Here's my question. So he got progression, and then he tried to go a little bit fast. And then here's my question. Bearing in mind, my goals aren't necessarily workout specific, but to get better at these movements and to be able to do more of them, what is the best protocol to follow? More reps every 3rd minute, allowing for longer rest, or slightly fewer reps on the minute? Either way, the idea is to keep building the number that is done for each set. It is the same exercises, same 15 minutes, but spent slightly different. So he's doing the same exercise and spending the same time on it. He's just adjusting the thing. If you'd have written up the homework post, we could have just sent him the link and we wouldn't have had to answer this question. But from the day that the kids rubbed it off the ball...
You still have to answer it.
Yeah.
You can go into a lot of detail on this.
It
just
Keep it simple.
Very simple.
Yeah. I mean, for him... He's probably got a lot of time constraints as well.
Yeah,
so
he's got 15 minutes.
Yeah, for him, and he's only got 2 or 3 sessions a week, so he's trying to get in as much as possible. So we would suggest, you're trying to sort of alternate between those movements and increase the reps that you can do on those minutes, get more volume done in a small amount of time. And then what he's saying is that he feels like he's got to a good point, but rather than now doing handstand push-ups every 3rd minute, because you're mixing it with other things, he decided to just do handstand push-ups for 5 minutes straight.
Yes.
Okay, which is actually a lot harder.
Yeah.
Because it's just that same, you're not giving that muscle group any rest, and he's finding that really difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so... But with variability in mind, you want to maybe throw that in 1 week, and then maybe the week after you would go alternating.
That's what I was going to say. If we take his 5x5, he's got 20. He's doing 25. Let's just take one of the exercises. He's got strict handstand push-ups. So he's doing 25 strict handstand push-ups within that 15 minutes. Yeah. So long as he gets that 25 strict handstand push-ups, the way that he puts it on the time thing, he can vary that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. For what Brooks is trying to achieve, then yes.
Right.
But like, if it gets to a point where it's quite easy to get 25 reps done every 3rd minute.
Yes.
Then you would try and... once you've got that rep range, and say for him 25 reps is what his target rep range is.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's what you first need to establish, like that, 25 reps.
Yeah.
Okay? Your time frame at the moment is 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That needs to come down. Your next target is, can I get that done in 12 minutes?
Right.
Can I get that done in 10 minutes? Once you can get 25 reps done in 5 minutes, so he's doing 5 on the minute for 5 minutes, it's now time to start thinking about the rep range. That needs to go up.
So just add one rep, mate?
I'd make the total reps is easier to think about, in my opinion. So, okay, I now want to be able to do 40 reps, and I'm going to go back to my 15 minutes.
Right.
So now, can I get 40 reps done in 15 minutes? And then, like, this is never ending.
Yeah.
Okay? you take that to where I'm at the moment, which I'm not the best at gymnastics by far. My rep range that I try to achieve in most gymnastic session is 150.
Right.
If I do a chest to bar pull-up session, I'm looking at 150 reps, and my time scale is around 15 minutes.
Right.
I never really want to be doing more than 15 minutes because I feel like you're either losing intensity or it just kind of drags on for too long.
And you never want to be doing more than 150 reps.
At the moment, no.
Right.
But it could get to the point... This is a little bit more specific. Like, I don't really want to do more than 150 because the total volume is a bit too much on my body.
It's too much.
But I would add weight to those. And my next progression is then to add weight. Because my total volume is a number that I think is a good number. So I'm now going to add weight to that, and also always trying to get down that time frame.
Right.
So at the moment I can do 150 reps pretty comfortably in 15 minutes, but the next progression is, can I do it in 12? Can I do it in 10? Once I can do it comfortably in under 10, then I'll make the number harder or make the weight on that movement harder.
So that's pretty much the way to go around. I think Brooksy uses that the approach that I wrote on and stop SMSing or start SMSing your body, strength, mobility, and skill. So he's using that and just playing around with those numbers and the rep scheme is the way to do it. And if not to increase the time spent on it either.
No, like there's no need to then say, right, well, I want to do 30 minutes on it and get more volume done. There's not as much point in that, I don't think. I think what's more important is that you try and do more reps in that same amount of time.
Absolutely.
So you just keep to that 15 minutes. Yeah. If you've got 5 days to do this, then I think that's obviously much better because you can really focus on one movement and improving. I think it's more important that you can improve that one movement really well, or maximum 2 movements. Well, once you start getting into 3 or 4 movements, say you've got 2 sessions a week, it's quite hard to get the volume quite high. You'll probably be stuck at 20 to 25 reps just because you've only got 15 minutes. Yeah. But if you can do it 10 minutes 5 days a week, then you're pretty much endless on the amount of volume you can get done in that 10 minutes. You can get up to almost 100 reps if you keep progressing. 1 rep every minute, 1 rep every 30 seconds.
I think this is cool as well because he's actually used different exercises. So he said one day would be strict chest to bar pull-ups, strict handstand push-ups, and hollow rocks. and the following would be strict weighted ring dips, back arches, and double unders. So he's actually hit 3 on day 1, 3 on day 2, and I'm sure he says he gets it in 2 to 3 days a week. So he's actually getting quite a lot in there for 15 minutes of work. That's probably. He actually sent me a message yesterday telling me that he hadn't touched muscle ups in a long time, but he'd been doing this for 4 weeks, and it was easy. And for the first time ever, he was able to do 5 muscle ups with no problem without a false grip. So
that's kind of the point. Once you feel like it's getting easy, I would then know, right, it's time to increase. My options are, if you're still at around 15 minutes, I need to I'm either going to decrease the time to make it more intense, or I'm going to increase the volume in that 15 minutes to make it more intense. You're trying to chase that intensity all the time without losing form, and they're kind of your 2 options, either decrease the time or increase the volume. But I wouldn't really go over sort of 15 to 20 minutes, because you're kind of dragging it out too long. Like 5 reps on the minute for 5 minutes is a better achievement, in my opinion, than doing... That's 25 reps. Then if you do 1 rep every minute for 25 minutes, it's the same amount of volume, but it's nowhere near as intense.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're trying to chase that intensity all the time, trying to get the most work done in the smallest amount of time.
And this is before his workout. So this is 15 minutes. He's in. His goal is improving muscle ups, strict handstand push-ups, and double unders. He's got them all there, and he's done well. So keep going with those exercises. Keep the same time domain. Second part of the question. There is no doubt I've made measurable improvement on these exercises. This will allow me to change my routine in the next 4... He might have answered a own question here. In the next 4-week block, to doing muscle-ups instead of the strength work required, and to do something else instead of handstand push-ups. I'm thinking of really bashing my shoulders and hip mobility, and also potentially thrusters. My concern is that if I now stop the work in these areas, I will lose my ability to do them. How often shall I revisit handstand push-ups, for example, to ensure I keep on top of them? They're not something that seem to be programmed loads, but clearly if I keep them in my strength, mobility, and skills and add something each week for 4 weeks, eventually my strength, mobility, and skills will be 2 hours long. So what he's saying here is that he's got good at handstand push-ups. I think it's sort of, you get to a certain level, he set a goal. If you can do that 5x5, then you go into more of a maintenance phase on it, don't you? But if you want to continue the progression on it, then you keep on it.
So he wants to basically do more exercises, right?
Exactly. He wants
thrusters. Where does that come into it?
Well, he wants to get better on his shoulders. His goal. So he's done this 4-week block. So he now wants to get better at his shoulders. He wants to improve his hip mobility, and he potentially wants to work more on his thrusters. So,
but it can be said. That can be said for anything. Like everyone that comes in, ask them what you want to get better at, and it's like, everything. Yeah. So you've got to prioritize what is the most important. And if he's he named 6 at the start, right? He's doing 2 15-minute blocks. He's got his 6 most important things to him in there.
Yeah.
If those sort of change, if you get to the point where, okay, handstand push-ups, sweet, any day of the week that you told me to, I could do 10 to 15 reps unbroken. Yeah. Then great. Maybe take that out of your main 6 movements that he was using there, and put something else in, like
his thrusters or something.
Thrusters or his mobility. I think this sort of stuff applies a lot better to gymnastics. Yeah. Just because the amount of time, if it's all about saving time for him, it's 15 minutes. Yes. So you're adding on an extra 5 minutes just in getting a barbell out and loading it up and getting warm for it. Yeah. So we do barbell stuff plenty of times in the class.
I agree.
There's extra classes that'll do that. I think for the mobility, then great, you can put that in there.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say.
For gymnastics, it doesn't take a huge warm up. Like you can jump on a ski erg for a full minute and smash it, and your whole body's warm, and then go straight into your 15 minutes of gymnastic work. I think that's probably the best more important for him to get in there.
It's where we're getting to is like you could be endless. You could want to do 5 strict handstand push-ups. Then when you can do that, you might want to do 10, and that could actually go on to 150 in a number of different ways. But you sort of have to cap it, don't you? And then if you cap it and then take that one out and say, okay, now I know any day of the week, any time I can do 10 strict handstand push-ups, and I'll touch on that maybe once a week. And now I'm going to use that time that I used on handstand push-ups for hip mobility.
Well,
there we go.
That's
super good question, though.
Still the way that I do it. Like I know that handstand push-ups is by far my worst of the sort of 5 or 6 gymnastic movements that come up a lot. So that's in my programming, twice a week. 3 times a week. Whereas muscle ups is one of my better ones, or rope climbs, and I just I throw them into workouts every now and again.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to spend that really specific time. Once you've got good at something, then it's safe and it's sweet to just put it into workouts when you're tired.
Absolutely.
Whereas you're never going to get better at chest to bar pull-ups by only doing them in workouts.
Right.
You have to spend the extra time doing it on its own.
There we go. Good question from Captain Brooks, and I'm sure he'll keep us updated with all his progress. Jonesy, any final thoughts? We've set a new PR this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is 56.
We had a little bit off at the start, so yeah, we're coming up to an hour.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. Good questions, though. Very good questions, and some of them a little bit long-winded, but you need that obviously to
build the story.
To build the story and to give us the facts. The more facts, the better.
Carmen will be here next week, or is she paddleballing again?
Paddleballing, who knows? Get those foods in this weekend. The foods for better sex. Not too much
coffee.
Think of your music. Think about your music.
That will have been. We'll put it up today. So
we'll put that up today. We'll get it done. I don't know what the title of that will be, and we'll have all sorts of incredibly poor handwriting on there, but still, we'll see what happens there. As we said before, Celebrate Fitness, block it in your diaries if you're in town, if you're going to be here, 18th of December. I understand that some people are going on holiday. I also understand that a lot of listeners, and I wanted to give a shout out, we have a lot of new listeners from where Carmen's from. They actually like her in Belgium. I hope they understand how we speak. We're getting a lot more listeners from the UK. I'm not sure they'll be at Celebrate Fitness. We'll obviously make some videos so they can see. But if you are around, if you are a member with us, if you do want to be with us, come down to Celebrate Fitness on the 18th. And, of course, Inner Talks 8, December the 10th, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. That will all be on YouTube. It will be on the podcast as well. If you have questions for Scott Ragsdale, get them. We're going to have about 15 minutes of Q&A. Natalie's just turned up. She's not sure where Sam's gone and why no one's at the front desk. But that's what happens here in the gym. Until next week, if you've got questions, send them to us, winninginnerfight.com. Make them long, make them short, but please make them interesting.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Cheers.